Hi everyone, I'm Akshay Raghavan.
Hi everyone, I'm Sujeeth Vankudari.
We are presenting you the capstone project as part of CSE564 visualizations course, and our our topic is on music and mental health analysis. We Music is plays a very integral role in our lives. We listen to it independently or in a group or in various settings, and we also it helps evoke emotions like happiness, sorrow, or trying to cope with things. We know that music gives us these emotions, but then does it also help us in coping with these emotions? And that's what inspired us to choose uh, this particular project, and understanding correlation between music and mental health. The data set which we use is a survey, which is volunteer survey by 617 participants who have a questionnaire where they've been asked various questions like their age, the number of hours they listen in a day, their self-reported mental health scores on their anxiety or depression or insomnia or OCD from a scale of 0 to 10. And also various other questions like, do they do any sort of are they instrumentalists, or um, how frequently do they listen to any particular genre, and do they have any favorite genre?
Yeah, so next I'll just walk you through the dashboard design and features on a high level. So mainly at the top we have all the key performance indicators. What I mean is some understanding of the demographics of the participants of the survey. We have about 617 survey participants, and the average music listening hours among those participants is 3.7 hours. And we also the survey also has for each participant, people have indicated their anxiety, depression, insomnia, and OCD scores. The average scores are on the top, and the most important part why we chose this whole data set in the first place is, has music helped somebody to improve their mental health score? And if you can see, there is about 75% of people have mentioned that they have seen some improvement. And then the with the age distribution on the top right, you can see that it's mostly participants are between between 0 to 30 years of age. So that's a high level of how the understanding of the demographics of the data. And then we have, I'll just run you through the four important parts of the dashboard. One is on the blocks plot on the left side. It kind of helps us see how people who like different music genre, how do their mental health scores vary. So basically, you have an option to a deal between, for example, you can switch between anxiety, depression, insomnia, and OCD. Like if I just click on insomnia, it will show insomnia scores across different music genre participants, and then anxiety will just switch according to that. And then we have also basically we also have like a box plot, sorry, MDS data plot, where we try to see how people have clustered, like try to bring down the dimension and see if there are any clustering available within the cohort. And we also have the radar plot to understand how within different genres, how the average scores of the mental health vary. And then we have a parallel coordinate plot to play around with the data and see if there is any other insights available to us. So firstly, yeah, as I mentioned, when I click on anxiety or depression or insomnia on the top, my graph would update, and I would be able to see how different median scores for insomnia would change across this different genres. For example, if I select like metal, right, you can see my radar plot is getting updated here. And now if I want, now basically I'm able to see the average score for metal across four different genres. Now if I like to want to compare it, for example, let's say lofi, right, then you can see that lofi has a higher mental health score, meaning worse mental health score when compared to metal listeners. This kind of indicates that people with worse mental health conditions tend to listen to more calming and soothing music. That is what you can literally make out from this data. And then, for example, if I choose one more attribute, let's say, go with rock. Okay, so you can observe that if you see rock and metal have similar, mental health score among the cohorts. So it kind of say that, hey, the both people who tend to listening to rock and metal more kind of have similar mental score, but lofi kind of indicates that hey, they have some worse mental health conditions and more they want more calming and soothing music. And then Akshay would take over now.
Yeah. In addition to this, we found another interesting observation which we can make out of here by choosing rap. So we can observe here that earlier we said that between genres we were getting different scores, correct? But over here we can also see that there's a correlation between a specific genre and a particular mental health. So we can see here the rap, which is in blue color, is lower in three of the mental health scores, but then it's higher in one of them, that is depression in this case. So this was an observation which we observed, which shows that there are cases where a particular genre is related to a specific mental health state. Beyond this, we were also observing interesting information through this MDS plot while dragging through this when we can adjust the clusters by when we choose like pi clusters and we choose the mental health in as the this thing, we can observe that there are mental health cohorts being mentioned through these borders, these circles with the black borders. And we can observe that there are particular segments within them to displaying that there are correlation in the listeners who prefer metal as their genre. Further, in this parallel coordinates plot, we were able to discern a few more information, one of them being that the age and the hours per day. So we can observe that as we observe among the older population in the data, we can observe that they mostly listen to less number of hours in the day. And when we observe the same information for the younger population, we can see it's kind of widespread and also sometimes in the higher range. This can since there has been an information that music has helped them in coping up with these mental health issues, then we can observe that younger generations tend to listen to more music and directly or indirectly signaling that they do have higher mental health, and the time where the older people they spend less listening to music.
And also to just add on to this, right? If you look at, for example, also let me just pull in depression near age as well first. Okay, so now, yeah, yeah. So let's say if I drag from a higher age to lower age, you can see that on the higher age, the BPM is mostly crowded between 100 and 150, right? And now if I drag further, that means if I including the younger age, the BPM pop, shoots up to 150 plus. So that kind of indicates that younger population kind of likes listening to high BPM music, whereas older population are preferring a lower BPM music. That's one thing. And now let's say I would consider depression as a metric, right? So these are the self-depression reported score. Again, when I just drag it from top to bottom, look at the way the depression scores are spread. It's mostly between 0 and 7, right? But at the moment I go below 40, the moment I go below 40, you see higher depression scores being reported. Right, like it also kind of indicates that younger population are kind of reporting higher depression scores, which is kind of concerning, and probably a very interesting insight from with how music and people reporting their own mental health issues with music relatedness is being presented here. Yeah, so all in all, we had tried to kind of establish how music has affected mental health and whether it's helping improve people, how well how different, if there is a cohort between within the participants, like within the music listeners, within the music community, and how they want to go ahead with it. So yeah, thank you for listening, taking this time to look into this dashboard.
Thank you.